Yo, what up, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. And the sun came up. We're all up today. It's over. The game is over. The season is also over as well. But we're going to continue to be here for the remainder of the season. And I wouldn't rather be spending this non-victory Monday with anybody else out there. So let's get to real ones going in the chat right now. We got a bunch to talk about on today's video. We already put a video out on the channel breaking down Daniel Jones and his torn ACL. He's not going to play quarterback for this football team anymore this season. The question is he going to be the quarterback going into the 2024 season? We're going to break that down on today's show. I've got 4 replacements the Giants can sign right now. And then I have another 5 replacements they could sign right now. And then I've got 5 more guys that they could potentially add to this football team in the NFL draft next year. So we're talking Daniel Jones replacements. We're going to break down Xavier McKinney calling out Brian Daboll. I'm going to share my thoughts on if the Giants should move on from Daboll and Joe Schoen. And we're going to close out today's show with a mailbag. So we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. The Giants may not have a lot of wins. We're going to be talking about a lot of good stuff today. Shout out to Garcia Arts, putting points up. Mitch hates Rolly. What up, Jack? What up, Scott? Angel, Romeo, Gritty Guapo, Aria, Ricardo, Romeo, Corinne, Steven Lopez, Ski Trauma, B. Coupland, Nope, Screwed World, Lee, Daniel, The Big Moo, Leonard Zinard, still the best name on YouTube. AMD85 says bring Wentz. We'll talk about Carson Wentz coming up in a little bit. What up, Raphael? The Cortez, White Feather, Joey DeLuca. What up, Gilly? Gilly, a lot of people are mad at the video that I posted about Daniel Jones today. I just grabbed his 2022 highlights and I put a song underneath it, and they're ready to assassinate me. They are not happy with what I have posted on Twitter today. I thought it was a good video. I also learned that I'm a guy that likes to root for injuries, according to Twitter. People on Twitter are happy that, Daniel Jones got injured because that means I got to be happy he got injured. Crazy day on Twitter today, no doubt about it. Shout out to my guy Brody Peters coming in with the first super chat of the day. Brody, what is the QB situation? Who should we sign? Well, buckle up, Brody, because we're going to break that down and more. I'm going to list, how many people is it, Smitty? 14?
It is 14.
We have 14 quarterbacks that we're going to talk about on today's show. Well, technically 16 if you count the 2 on the roster.
That's true. And 9 of them can be QBs on the Giants tomorrow.
They could sign them today.
Yes.
They could have already signed them.
That's right.
So we got a whole bunch to talk about on today's show. Brody, look, you only have 2 healthy quarterbacks on this football team. One of them is on the active roster. The other's on the practice squad. You got Tommy DeVito, who, I actually do want to apologize to Tommy DeVito. I was a little mean to him, but the thing is, Smitty, I wasn't even upset with him.
No, it's not his fault.
It's not Tommy DeVito's fault. But he was the punching bag for me.
Somebody's got to be a scapegoat.
Tommy DeVito, I was not nice to Tommy DeVito.
In the moment, you blame the quarterback that's in the football game at the time.
But I didn't even blame him. I just said he stinks and we can't trot him out for 8 more games.
Yes.
I
don't really know what that means. I mean, yeah. I don't really know what that means, though. That definitely is saying he's not good for this team.
I never said we lost because of Tommy DeVito.
No.
I didn't say we lost because of him. Gabagoo.
Gabagoo.
If you haven't seen the video, check it out. It's on the channel. It's a short.
Don Bosco Prep is in shambles right now.
Yeah, supposedly said I was not being nice to Don Bosco Prep. And look, man, I can't take it anymore. I can't. I already told Smitty, notice I'm not wearing a Giants shirt today. I will not be wearing Giants gear for the rest of the season because I am not going to spend any more money or give them free advertising and have them be on my body. I'm not wearing Giants gear anymore this year.
Can't be touched.
Smitty, until they commit to me. Look, I'm down to go 50-50. I'm down to go 50-50. I'll meet you halfway.
It's a two-way
street. I'm not
street.
paying your rent. I'm not paying your bills. I'm not paying your car note. I'll go 50-50 with you. I need the Giants to show me that they care about me.
It's a two-way relationship.
It's a two-way street.
It can't be one way.
It's ridiculous. I will not wear Giants gear the rest of the season. That's a fact. Until the Giants have a more committed plan to winning, I'm not going to wear their shit anymore. Because I feel like a loser wearing it. I feel like a loser. Crystal's in the chat. What up, Crystal? Can I get everyone to type CW in the chat? Can I get CWs in the chat? Can I get a bunch of CWs in the chat? Get the CWs going. Let's go. I need a whole bunch of CWs in the chat. Shout out to Crystal for tuning in. She is a legend and one of the nicest people I know in this world. Crystal, miss ya. Give your guy a little love for me today. Let's go. I do want to give a huge shout out, though, to PrizePicks before we dive into today's show. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use the promo code CLNS, and PrizePicks is going to hook you up with a $100 match of your initial deposit. If you enjoy playing fantasy sports, you want to play daily fantasy sports, and you want to win real money, do it with PrizePicks because there's nobody's better, and it's daily fantasy sports made easy. How do you play? Well, you create a lineup of 2 to 6 players, and you simply choose more or less on their projected stat lines. This is the lineup that I'm rolling with for Monday Night Football. I think Zach Wilson is going to have a bad game. You know, I don't think that's a hot take, so I'm going to go with less on his passing yards. And I think the Chargers are going to blow out the New York Jets tonight, so it's going to be the more on the passing yards for Justin Herbert. 2 to 6 player lineup. The closer you get to 6 players, the higher your multiplier is going to be and the more money you could potentially make. But it's a little bit more risky. So I'm just going with a 2-player lineup tonight. You can roll with my picks. You can fade my picks. Just do it and play daily fantasy with prizepicks.com/CLNS. Remember, promo code CLNS. My guy, Bill. What up, Billy? Bill, appreciate the super chat, and I appreciate you being here, man. It's easy to quit on the Giants right now. I'm not quitting, and I know Bill's not quitting. He says, today's fridge video hit me right in the feels. Bill, that was not a fun video to film. That was a guy. Here's a guy. That was a guy that was absolutely demoralized this morning, Bill. I was broken. I still am broken. I'm upset, Bill. But you know what? I got a whole bunch of real ones in here watching. We got 240 people watching after we just lost to the Las Vegas Raiders 30-6. That means a freaking lot to me. Let's ride. My guy Leonard Zinnard, the best name on YouTube.
The best.
Says, can't stay long, brother. But I don't see a world where we don't have Caleb Williams or Drake Maye next season. Maye signed my Zen case last season as well. We have to draft Drake Maye.
That is swagger right there.
Drake
the guy
Maye,
gets it.
You are a New York Giant.
That's a guy who gets it. Signing Zen cans, you get like the Young Wei Koo, one of the best kickers in the NFL. He signs Zen cans. You're reliable if you're out there signing Zen cans.
I know his name is Young Wei Koo. He will forever be Young Hoku in my mind.
Listen,
forever.
It's a tough adjustment to make once you figure it out.
Leonard Zinnard. We're going to talk about some college quarterbacks that the Giants could look towards in the NFL draft. Mr. Rick says, uh-oh. I'm not going to tell you guys what to do, but what I'm going to do is not wear Giants gear the rest of this season. So that's on y'all. If y'all want to wear it, that's fine. I won't look at you any different. I may give you a little side eye, but I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. So if you guys want to boycott with me about not wearing New York Football Giants gear anymore, frickin' jump on the bandwagon because it's not full just yet. I do want to say this. I know a lot of people are like, you know what's funny is this. I get people, 50% of people say, Marshall, you hate Daniel Jones. You're happy he's hurt. And I got the other people saying, Marshall, you love Daniel Jones. Why do you always defend him? Why are you always talking about him? Which means I think I'm doing a pretty damn good job. But I do know this. His ACL is torn, and he's going to be out for the season. And I feel bad for the player that has put his blood, sweat, and tears into this, his hard work into this, and what happened? Oh, I thought the Giants made a move. I don't even know what the fuck I was just saying. I'm broken. Seeps just messed up my flow, dude.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
I already told him I'm not wearing Giants gear the rest of the season.
Really?
I won't wear any more Giants gear the rest of the season.
Daboll,
Nope. Nope. I wore my black today because it's a funeral of me wearing Giants gear. That's why I wore black today. But what I was saying, See, some people say, Marshall, you're way too nice to Daniel Jones. Some people say, Marshall, why do you hate Daniel Jones? I'm right down the middle. If he plays good, I'll tell you if he plays good. If he plays bad, I'll tell you he plays bad. But I feel bad for the player that has put his blood, sweat, tears into this organization, came back from a neck injury the second time, and in the first quarter he tore his ACL. I feel bad for him in that sense. I don't feel bad for him in the sense that he's got $92 million coming to him in the next 3 years, but I do feel bad for the football player because I know, just imagine this. You get a job, you get a promotion, you worked your butt off for that promotion, and on the first day they take the promotion away because things you couldn't control. That's what that is. That's what it is. That's what it is. My guy Adam Schmidt in the building. What up, Schmitty? You know what? I got a beer right here. I actually got 2 beers right here, which means Seeps, if we get a $50 super chat, I say we do a beer shotgun. One more time for Daniel Jones. Get the 8s in the chat. We got 270 people watching right now. I better see 278s in the chat. Show Daniel Jones some love. It's hard to support him. I know it is. But I feel bad for him, and he's still a member of the Giants, which means I'll always have his best interest in mind. Get the 8s in the chat. Let's ride. Get the 8s in the chat. Yeah. Let's ride. Get the 8s in the chat. You got to show love.
We're showing love to
show
DJ.
Love. See, even Seeps thinks I hate Daniel Jones. Supposedly, I put out a video today that made it seem like Daniel Jones died.
Marsh is the most hated man on Giants Twitter right now.
People are not happy with me on Giants Twitter. That's for sure. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. I'm just getting handling some on my computer. Oh! As Adam Schmidt, bang! A $50 super chat. Seeps, go get some sort of drinking apparatus so we can get these beers chugged. Let's ride.
Oh, no.
I don't know where it is, if so.
Shout out to Tenacious Knight and Jilly as well. I'm an asshole who just refreshed the super chats and I lost yours. I'm so sorry.
Can we get the Skull Adams in the chat?
Get the skulls rolling.
Can we get the Skull Adams in the chat? Let's go. I'm trying to get my order in for tonight's dinner since I'm going to be doing the Knicks game in a couple of hours. And I'll tell you what, I am struggling right now. I'm struggling. I think I'm good, though. I think I'm good. I think we're good.
Skull, skull, skull.
Shout out to Adam Schmidt, an absolute legend here at Chat Sports. Just back. No, we got to race, dude. We got to race.
Oh, boy.
I got to get a win today. You have Victory Monday. I'm freaking miserable Monday. Miserable Monday.
Misery Monday is
Misery Monday.
crazy.
We got 273 people watching. Could y'all hit that thumbs up icon for me? If
Like
we get
the
to
video.
150 likes, we may bring out the Patron Zone.
That's right.
The Patron Zone is usually closed on Mondays. But I am hearing from sources, Smitty, that if we get to 150 likes today, before we start the show, the gates to the Patron Zone might open up. That's just what I'm hearing.
Wow.
I don't want to say it's a fact. I don't want to say it's a rumor. But I am hearing if we get to 150 likes before the show starts today, we're going to enter the Patron Zone. Let's go. Gilly, did we lose Super Chats? Is that what
We
you
did.
said?
We lost 2 super chats because I refreshed to get Adams up there, and I lost to Gilly's super chat by accident.
Can you go to the comments and unfilter it and scroll up and go find it?
Yeah.
That's probably the best way to do it. Because I need to get Gilly's super chat up there, and I got to get Tenacious Knight's super chat up there. Let's go.
Let me see if I can get us up there.
So all you just go to the YouTube comments one, and then
filter it to whatever they wrote in their super chat.
just click no filter,
Oh,
and then you'll be able to get all the comments. What is this talk in the chat right now? Hey, we're talking Giants football. Let's keep all that other weird shit out of here, and you better respect Gilly. You better show some respect to Gilly, or you're gonna get blocked. Daniel Briggs, what are you doing? Yeah, we'll see you later, Daniel. I'm sorry Daniel Briggs was being offensive in the chat. He has been banned from the channel, and he will never be able to be in this chat again. So I apologize to anybody that he offended. I wish I would have caught it sooner. I apologize.
He was saying some crazy stuff?
Yeah, he was being very mean to very nice people. Let's ride. All righty, Seeps. Cheers, brother. To Adam Schmidt. Let's ride.
To Dobbs. Josh Dobbs. Oh.
Woo! Let's ride. Is there a little tiki? You just want to take it? Thanks, boss. Shout out to Seeps. Shout out to Adam Schmidt. You just show him how to uncheck the filter. Gilly says it might be time to have a conversation that Josh Dobbs may actually be good. Might be time. I'll tell you this much. Giants would have had more points than 6 yesterday if they had wow, that was brutal. Sorry, guys. Josh Dobbs would have scored more points than 6 yesterday versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Mitch says, Marsh, we got someone making false accusations. What are we talking about? Who's in the chat being weird? Who in the chat's being weird? John Nitty says, what the hell is Seeps using? It's called a shot fund. You put it in there, and then once you load it and pull the trigger, it like pretty much shotguns it for you. Mr. Rick, are you spreading fake news? Tyrone Hall says, how about letting me finish a comment? There's a lot of animosity in the chat today. And when you're 2-7, that shit happens. So you know what? That's all. All right, so we're having some technical difficulties. I apologize. Tenacious Knight sent in a $5 super chat. Tenacious, thanks for being a real one, brother. Says, if DeVito somehow, in some miracle way, takes us to the playoffs, would you buy his jersey? Also, who do you like more, Maye or Williams? M or W in the chat. If Tommy DeVito starts every game for the remainder of the season and gets the Giants to the playoffs, I will buy a Tommy DeVito jersey, and I will wear that jersey for every single day on this show for 365 days.
That seems fair.
If Tommy DeVito leads the Giants to the playoffs as the starting quarterback.
Keep in mind, he's going to have to go 7-1 to do so.
At minimum.
At minimum.
I will buy the most expensive Tommy DeVito jersey on the market, and I will wear it every single Giants Now episode for 365 days. Is that fair? Is that fair? I'll do that. Gilly with a $2 super chat says, Twitter proving we're the dumbest fan base today. My man Mike G in the chat. What up, Michael? Best initials in the game. Let's ride. If y'all could, hit that thumbs up icon. We got 283 people watching. We got great audience today. Y'all want to hear about Daniel Jones replacements. Y'all want to hear about Tyrod Taylor when he could be coming back. Is Tommy DeVito the guy? Is it going to be Matt Barkley? Could they sign Carson Wentz? We're going to break it all down on today's show. But hit that thumbs up icon for me. And if you have liked the video, can we get a me in the comments section?
Spam me if you've liked the video. Let's go.
Mr. Rick, I will wear the entire uniform. Helmet, shoulder pads, pants. I'll wear cleats. I'll wear cleats if Tommy DeVito leads us to the playoffs. Hit that thumbs up icon. We do have a mailbag coming up on today's show, and I want to be able to just answer questions from you guys. Whether they're questions, whether they're just comments, whether you have a take, whether you just want to vent. If you want that comment that you have to pop up on screen in about an hour for a mailbag, just include hashtag Giants in your comment. Include hashtag Giants in your comment. That way producer Smitty will be able to pop that up on screen. Let's have a dialogue today. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a back and forth. Let's just chop it up about the New York Football Giants. Ask a question. I usually don't do this, but I'm going to call out the real ones. I see a whole bunch of real ones in the chat right now. And there's nobody's opinions and thoughts and concerns that I want to hear from more than people like Corinne, from people like Cha, people like Mitch Hates Roley, like Mike G, like Joey DeLuca, like the Big Moo. Every name I just said, I need you to say something in the chat and put hashtag Giants on it so we can talk about it. I want to know how you guys are feeling. I want to know what you guys are thinking. So all you real ones, you better get a question in the comments, including hashtag Giants. Because I need to know how you're feeling. Because y'all know how I'm feeling. I need to know how you're feeling. Come on. All the real ones. Hashtag Giants. Or Super Chat to get on the show. Let's go. Shout out to Ralphie, Nope, Brandon, Mitch Hates Roley, Brian C. I need all the real ones to get their questions in today. Because I got some shit I got to get off my chest. I got some... Mr. Rick, I didn't see the E-N-E-D at the end of that, so that was weird. Hashtag Giants or Super Chat. As Steven Samuelson sent in a Super Chat, first time Super Chatter. Are we going to be able to pop that up? We are. Shout out to Steven for getting a comment in. Steven, first time Super Chatter. Smitty for Steven. Let's ride. We are in lockstep today. I'm bringing my A game today. I need you guys to match it. Steven says, suck it up and get down to business. I don't know if that's talking about the Giants or what, but hey, yesterday was yesterday. We're on to the next week. And you know what would hit different on Sunday? Beating the Dallas Cowboys. How about a win versus the Cowboys? How cool would that freaking be? Let's ruin their season.
Yeah. They're 5-4. They're on the real. Or they're 5-3 now. They're 5-3. They're on the ropes. 5-4 puts them in a real bad spot.
Ridiculous. Shout out to all the questions in. Keep getting them in. Hashtag Giants included in your comment. And we're going to pop up some for a mailbag in about 20, 30, 40, maybe 50 minutes. Last question I want to ask before we start today's show. I like that one. Well, let's do that one. Last question before we start today's show. Oh, it is? Okay, we'll get to that in a second then. You're good. Let's just go to it real quick then as a part of build-up. Yeah, real quick, just to keep the comment section going. I want to ask you guys, is this the worst Giants football team of your lifetime? Lifer time is spelled wrong. Is this the worst Giants team of your life? Type Y for yes. Type N for no. Is this the worst Giants team of your lifetime?
They've trotted out some bad ones.
According to DVOA, which is some advanced analytic,
the nerds love it.
This is the worst Giants football team since 1981.
Ooh.
According to DVOA, I don't know what it means. I don't care what it means. It supposedly determines how good your football team is. This is supposedly the worst Giants football team since 1981, according to that stat. Holy milk dud. Bat M, my guy coming in with a $2 super chat. We appreciate you, Holy Milk. Says Marshall for Giants QB would get more than 6 yards. I said it yesterday, and I hate when people say these types of things because I know how hard it is to play in the NFL. I know how special of an athlete and how much dedication you have to do it. But if someone came up to me and said, Marshall, I will give you $1 million if you can throw for more than 6 yards in 6.5 quarters, but you have to bet your life on it, I would do it. I would take that chance, and I feel pretty confident I would get it done.
Now, I'm pretty sure that this instance of where he's throwing for 6 yards over 6.5 quarters, that includes sacks, right?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, getting sacked is...
If I got to 7 yards,
you'd have to net.
I would spike it every single time for the remainder of the game.
Okay. So you're getting the ball out quick.
Yes.
Get the ball out quick.
First play of the game, I'm open. You know what I'm doing first play? I'm in the shotgun. I'm having Saquon Barkley come across in a jet sweep and a little pop pass.
Oh, a little shovel it up.
I'm pop passing until I get to 7 yards.
We're cheesing until we get to 7 yards.
I am pop passing until I get to 7 yards.
That's ridiculous. I respect it. It's probably possible. The Giants just aren't smart enough to do that, it seems, right now.
Nope says DeVito threw for 157. Yes, he did. But midway through the third quarter, and Nope, you know this. Stop being a smart ass all the time. You were watching the stream, brother. Midway through the third quarter, dating back to the last 6.5 quarters, the Giants had 6 net passing yards at one point. 6 net passing yards at one point.
Bad.
Alrighty, let's get into it. Daniel Jones replacements. We're talking NFL draft. We're talking NFL free agency. And guys, the Giants could poach off other practice squads.
There's some names about to be said.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. Alrighty, let's dive into it. As everybody knows, at this point, Daniel Jones is going to be out for the remainder of the season with a torn ACL. I feel extremely bad for Daniel Jones. Battled back from a neck injury, able to come back, and in the first quarter, he tears his ACL on a non-contact play. I feel absolutely horrible for him, and I am devastated. I'm sure he is devastated. But it's time for the Giants to move forward. The Giants have to move forward at the quarterback position. And to be honest with you, it's not even because of the play of Daniel Jones. You cannot solely rely on a quarterback that has missed 8 games in the last 3 seasons due to a neck injury. That is organizational malpractice to only rely on a quarterback that has missed 8 games in the last 3 seasons for a neck injury. And then on top of that is going to be rehabbing an ACL, and he's not going to be ready till the middle of the season next year, and you are going to have a top 5 pick. There is no way in hell the New York Giants can continue to roll with Daniel. He'll be on this roster, but he will be cut after the 2024 season, and the Giants will have a dead cap hit of $22 million. So coming up on today's show, we've got 2 types of Daniel Jones replacements. I'm going to go through 9 quarterbacks that the Giants could sign right now that will help them win more games than they have with Tommy DeVito. And at the tail end of the show, we're going to break down 5 quarterbacks in the NFL draft that I think the Giants should look at. But first, can we light up the comment section? I know everybody feels a certain way about Daniel Jones. Everyone has an opinion, and everyone should have an opinion. Because when you're the franchise quarterback of the greatest organization in sports, you should be able to have an opinion. But at the end of the day, he is our quarterback, he is our franchise guy, and he won us a playoff game for the first time since 2011. So no matter how much you hate him, no matter how much you think he sucks, I need you to show him some love in the comment section right now. Type those 8s. I want to see thousands and thousands of 8s in the comment section. So right now, you have 2 healthy quarterbacks on the roster, Tommy DeVito and Matt Barkley. Tommy DeVito is on the active roster. Matt Barkley is on the practice squad. You also have Tyrod Taylor, who is on injured reserve. He is going to miss at minimum 4 games. He already missed last week, so he's going to be at minimum out for the next 3 games. And when Brian Daboll was asked this morning, Monday morning, on if Tyrod Taylor could come back this year, he did not sound confident. So I don't think Tyrod Taylor's coming back this year, which means the Giants may have to rely on Tommy DeVito. I think personally, Tommy DeVito starts the next 2 games. Giants see what he could do, Maybe Matt Barkley gets brought up to speed, and then he's brought in. But I do think the Giants should go out and sign another quarterback to their practice squad or to their active roster. If you're going to steal a quarterback from another team's practice squad, you have to sign him to their active roster. And I think the Giants should do that, a young quarterback. So let's talk about 4 guys that I think the Giants could look at on other teams' practice squads. Number 1, what about the former Texas Longhorn, Shane Buechele? He came into the NFL in 2021, and he spent 2 seasons with Kansas City. So he overlapped with Mike Kafka, the current offensive coordinator for the New York Giants. I'm not saying Shane Buechele is going to win you games, but maybe you could find a cheap, young, backup quarterback that you can roll with in the future if Tommy DeVito proves that he is not that guy going forward. And I think that the fact that he's with Buffalo right now in the practice squad, I'm sure Joe Schoen is going to get all the information from Brandon Beane, his buddy, in Buffalo. And also Mike Kafka spent 2 years with Shane Buechele in Kansas City, and he was a quarterback coach, so he worked with him very closely. Another practice squad replacement you could look at, what about Malik Cunningham out of Louisville, who was an undrafted free agent in 2023. He is currently on the practice squad for the New England Patriots, and while he is not the most refined passer, while he is not a guy that's going to sit in the pocket and absolutely dice you up, he is electrifying, and if the QB whisperers, Brian Daboll, like everyone tells me he is, he should be able to at least work with Malik Cunningham and help him get better, and I would rather watch a fun Malik Cunningham than what I had to watch yesterday against the Las Vegas Raiders. Another practice squad quarterback, probably the guy that's got the most experience What about former Texas A&M Aggie Kellen Mond, who was a third-round pick in 2021? He is currently on the Indianapolis Colts practice squad. Former third-round pick. There's talent there. He has started a whole lot of games in college football. A lot of time he played quarterback for the Aggies in College Station. Kellen Mond is a guy that I would absolutely see if the Giants are interested in. He's a guy that has probably the most talent of anybody that's available. Former third-round pick. Hasn't put it all together in the NFL just yet. Last practice squad replacement I think the Giants could look at. What about Max Duggan? 7th-round pick at a TCU in the 2023 NFL Draft. You know what's funny? A lot of people said Max Duggan's NFL pro comp was Daniel Jones. He's extremely tough. He's extremely gutsy. He's a guy that's going to put it all on the line. While I don't think he's a guy that's ready to play in the NFL, I also don't think Tommy DeVito is ready to play in the NFL. I think Duggan is a guy that could step in and run a run-heavy offense for the Giants, and I think it's just worth it for them to look potentially at another young quarterback to put on this practice squad. Look, I don't know if the Giants are going to sign another practice squad quarterback or a guy to their active roster, but they absolutely have to, right? You can't just roll the remainder of the season with Tommy DeVito and Matt Barkley. So if you're not going to go try to poach someone off the practice squad of another team, that means you're going to look at free agent quarterbacks. And I'll tell you this much. All these guys were good 5 years ago. The top free agent quarterback, in my opinion, is Carson Wentz. Now, I know there may be some people saying, Marshall, these guys stink. Well, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. It's November, and they're free agents. None of them are going to be good. Carson Wentz, though, one time was in the MVP race in the National Football League, just 30 years old. Could the Giants maybe make him an offer if they are serious about winning football games to bring him in? If the Giants are trying to win football games the remainder of the season, Carson Wentz is the best option. Thing is, I'm not so sure they're trying to do that anymore. Maybe you look to a veteran that's not even in the NFL technically anymore. He's calling games for CBS. What about Matt Ryan? Could Matt Ryan, Matty Ice, former league MVP, former Super Bowl losing quarterback, Matt Ryan, be a guy that the Giants look at? I don't know. What about bringing a former Giant? Once a Giant, always a Giant. And Colt McCoy is a Giant legend for what he did in Seattle when he beat the Seattle Seahawks in the Joe Judge era. Could they go back to an old, wily veteran in Colt McCoy to try to hold down the ship for the remaining 8 games in the NFL season? What about Joe Flacco? Joe Flacco has had a lot of success in this league. Do the Giants want to look to a 38-year-old quarterback to start the remainder of the games? This last one is interesting because I do think of all 5 quarterbacks on this screen, Cam Newton is the guy that you could come up with a new offensive game plan as soon as possible for. He is the guy that with him and Saquon Barkley in the backfield, you could at least have a solid rushing attack. I'm just not so sure Cam Newton's a good football player anymore. I think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He's the best rushing quarterback of all time. He's a league MVP. He got a team to a Super Bowl. Do the Giants want to go that route? Do they want to go a loud starting quarterback to take over? I'm not so sure. What would you do if you're Joe Schoen? What should the Giants do? Should they sign a practice squad quarterback? Type PS. Should they sign a veteran quarterback? Type vet. Should they just start Tommy DeVito? Type TD. Or should they start Matt Barkley? I want to hear from you guys. Let me know. If you were Joe Schoen, what would you do at the quarterback position for the remainder of the 2023 NFL season? I do know this. If the Giants make a move, I'm not going to let you down. We are going to make a video. Shoot, if the Giants sign a quarterback, we may go live on this channel. So subscribe, turn your notifications on, and lock us in for the remainder of this season because we're not going anywhere. Win, lose, or draw, we're going to still put out content every day for you guys. Coming up next, Daniel Jones replacements for next year. We're going to focus in on the NFL draft. The Giants are projected to have a top 5 pick. So I'm going to list 5 quarterbacks that I think the Giants should look at in the NFL draft. But first, I got to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, PrizePicks. It's the #1 way to play daily fantasy, and you guys should get hooked up. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, use the promo code CLNS, and PrizePicks is going to match your additional deposit up to $100. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. All you do is you create a lineup of 2 to 6 players, and you simply choose more or less on their stat line. The more players you have on your lineup, the higher your payout and multiplier is going to be. These were my picks for Monday Night Football. I went with less passing yards on Zach Wilson and more passing yards for Justin Herbert. They also offer NFL, NBA, college football, college basketball, and you can cross-platform and have multiple sports on one ticket. It's PrizePicks.com/CLNS. And if you maybe get off to a rocky start, you'll have some buffer room because you'll have that deposit bonus when you go to PrizePicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. Shout out to my guy Rob Rod in the chat. We'll get to that in a second, brother. Thanks for being a real one. All righty. The Giants have to draft a quarterback. Like, all BS aside, all the shenanigans out the window. You're projected to have the 4th pick in the NFL draft. And when you pick inside the top 5 and you have a quarterback that's not proven, and you have a quarterback that's missed 8 games in the last 3 years with a neck injury, and you have a quarterback rehabbing from a torn ACL, you have to draft a quarterback. If the Giants are picking inside the top 10, they should draft a quarterback. And I can almost guarantee it that they will do so. The question is, who is it going to be? Well, if you can get up to the number 1 overall pick, you know who it's going to be. It's going to be Caleb Williams, the Heisman Trophy winner in 2022 at a USC. Caleb Williams is a special, special prospect, ladies and gentlemen. But I do want to say that I am not going to write it in ink that he is absolutely going to be a hit in this league. I believe he will be a good quarterback in this league. But I just kind of want to slow down the expectations for everybody. I don't think it's fair to compare someone to Patrick Mahomes. And I've watched Caleb Williams extremely close over these last 3 weeks. And while he's not playing for a good football team in USC, not a lot of talent all around him, more on the defense side of the ball, there are some concerns I have about his game. He leads college football in the last 3 seasons in fumbles lost. He's very loosey-goosey with the ball control. Those are things you can obviously correct. But man, oh man, if you pick number 1, you may just get a generational quarterback on your hands. There's a lot of other people, though, that would say, Marshall, Caleb Williams is 6 foot. And he's kind of erratic. And he takes a lot of chances. How about I go with Drake Maye, the 6'5" quarterback that's got a rocket arm that can make all the throws from the pocket, and he is one of the most athletic quarterbacks in college football. I believe the stat was 2 weeks ago, over the last 2 years, he had the most 50-plus yard rushing games in college football. Drake Maye is special. If Caleb Williams came out next year, Drake Maye would be the number 1 overall pick. I think Drake Maye might have went number 1 overall last year over Bryce Young. He reminds me of Justin Herbert. I don't think he has the exact arm strength as Justin Herbert. I think Herbert has a top 5 arm in the NFL. Drake Maye has a really good arm, but he doesn't have a transcendent arm. But I also think he is going to be really, really good in this league. And if the Giants are able to walk away with either one of these 2 quarterbacks, if you are able to walk away out of the 2024 NFL draft with either Caleb Williams or Drake Maye, you're going to be sitting pretty. There's a lot of opinions about Caleb Williams. And I understand some of the concerns. But I want to ask you, if you could pick a quarterback, if you were Joe Schoen, who would you rather be the quarterback of the New York Football Giants going forward? Is it Caleb Williams? Is it Drake Maye? Type the initials of the player you want to see under center for Big Blue. If you fall outside the top 5 and you're picking around 8, 9, 10, or 11, and you want to find another quarterback, what about J.J. McCarthy? I'm a big fan of McCarthy. I got to cover him when I covered high school football before I started to work at Chat Sports. I got to interview him, got to talk with him. He's extremely smart. He's extremely humble, and he's extremely professional. And he's also a damn good football player. He can make all the throws. He's not as flashy or splashy as a guy like Caleb Williams or Drake Maye, but I also think he is going to be a good QB in the NFL. It's so important, though, for these guys to go to good situations. Good head coach, good offensive coordinator, good talent around them. I think McCarthy in the right system could be a really good quarterback in this league. I don't think he's a top 5 pick, though, and I don't even know if he's a top 8 pick. But we know what happens, and where the value of quarterbacks shoot up in the draft board, they're always taken before they're supposed to be. We'll see. I like McCarthy. I also like Shedeur Sanders. Thing is, I'm not so sure Shedeur Sanders is going to come out and play in the 2024 NFL Draft. He's got a couple more years left of eligibility. His best friend, Travis Hunter, has to come back to school next year. So I could see Sanders coming back to school, playing another year with Travis Hunter, but I like the mental makeup of Shedeur Sanders. I like his ability to make all the throws. I think he has good pocket mobility. Not a great straight line runner, not the fastest guy in the world, but he is a guy whose dad has been in the NFL. I think he's got it in between the ears, and I love the way he throws the football, man. He can flick it. He's got a really strong arm. He's extremely talented. A guy that I am starting to fall in love with, though, in college football is Michael Penix Jr. of Washington. I love his story. I love his grit. I love his toughness. I love his ability to face adversity. And when you watch the Huskies play, you can see that this team wraps their arms around Michael Penix. They love playing for Michael Penix. He's a leader. He is someone that I can get behind as the quarterback of the New York Football Giants. I don't love the fact that he's a lefty. I don't like evaluating lefty quarterbacks because every release looks weird. But man, oh man, if you watch that game against USC, he looked just as good as Caleb Williams. That throw he had rolling out to his left, layering the ball in the end zone to the second guy, right here, toe tap. He's a special, special player, man. If the Giants could get any 5 of those guys, I think they'd be sitting pretty good. Who's there going to be, though? Not so sure. We're going to find out where the Giants will pick as this season rolls on. Who do you want to be the Giants quarterback next year? We just broke down 5 guys. Who do you want to be the Giants quarterback next year? Maybe you want it to be Daniel Jones. That's fine. Let me know in the comments who you want to be the Giants quarterback next year. As always, you can follow me over on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. I'm tweeting about the Giants all day, every day, and I want to be able to follow some of you guys back. So give me a follow over on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. And if you DM me QB, I'll know you came from this video, and I'll give you a follow back. As my guy Rob Rodriguez. Hey! Shout out to Rob Rodriguez.
Let's go.
An absolute go.
Legend.
Says, just tank. Let's put our pride to the side and do what is best for the future. You're speaking facts, man. You're speaking facts. I don't know if the Giants have to tank. They're that bad. It's hard to sell your fan base. It's hard to sell me. It's hard to sell your players about losing games on purpose. I don't even think that that's a talk you have in the locker room. If you're orchestrating a tank, I think that comes from the top down.
Yeah, players probably never know when there's actually a tank going on. I mean, they can infer, they can guess, but they're never going to be consulted about it.
Yeah, there's never going to be a locker room speech from Daboll saying, hey, guys, we're tanking.
No,
that
is Exhibit A, like unwritten rule of how you lose a locker room. Like that's a given.
Like, it's different than baseball. Or it's different than basketball, Smitty. Every time you walk on the football field, you are risking your life.
Yeah.
No one is going out there to risk their life if they're losing games on purpose.
No, nobody is.
Rob, you're a legend, dude. Thanks for always supporting me. Thanks for always supporting this show. It does not go unnoticed. And if you are coming down for the Dallas game this weekend, we're going to frickin' party, man. We're going to frickin' party. Let's ride. Shout out to Rob Rodriguez, an absolute legend.
Yes, sir.
My guy Watson Graves says, this team sucks. Yeah.
They just might.
That's true. That's absolutely true, brother. It is. Johnson U says, develop Tommy DeVito, homegrown town.
Don Bosco prep. That's an Iron Man right there.
Yeah, he was so good for Don Bosco.
He was
completed
terrible.
8 passes in a state championship.
How are you not good at any level and then you make the NFL? Find yourself starting half a season for the Giants.
I don't want to be mean to Tommy DeVito. It's unfair because he doesn't deserve to be in this position, so he's getting unwarranted heat. But man, oh man, it's embarrassing that I have to watch him play football as a fan of the New York Football Giants.
4-time Super Bowl winning champion New York Giants.
It's a joke. I don't want to say anything else about Tommy DeVito.
Who do you want to be the Giants QB next year? Let us know in the chat.
Smitty, are you a Drake Maye or a Caleb Williams guy? I'm still TBD.
I'm still TBD, but like
the gap is shrinking.
The gap is definitely shrinking, but look, we're not gonna act like Drake Maye's team's doing crazy well either. Like they're not primed for a college football playoff spot. Now, granted, the expectations for USC were much higher, but I don't know. I think Caleb Williams is a special talent. You draft a guy like that who knows he's been the best at the position for his entire life. He's got a big head, kind of got a big ego. How do you deal with that going to play in New York? I don't know. Maybe Drake Maye is the more level-headed.
Is John Mara guy?
Say it again?
Is Caleb Williams a John Mara
I don't think
guy?
Caleb Williams is a John Mara guy. No. John Mara likes to keep it cool, calm, collected, never gotten in any trouble, no controversy.
Cookie-cutter quarterback look.
Cookie-cutter quarterback. That's why Daniel Jones is in the position that he's in right now.
Johnson Eustace, how about super senior Bo Nix? I don't think Bo Nix is an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, I don't think it's
I think he's a good college quarterback at this point, finally. It only took him 17 and a half years to get there.
Yeah.
But I'm not a big Bo Nix guy in the NFL.
No. A name you didn't mention on there who's kind of been slipping lately because the teams hasn't been performing as well. Riley Leonard from Duke. It's kind of slipping down
I'm not taking another Duke quarterback.
No, unfortunately for the Giants, they can't go down that road again.
You could not draft another Duke quarterback.
No, because then it's a trend. Then we're starting to.
I like Michael Penix Jr., man.
I do too.
I do. I'm not.
I don't think he's like the best pocket passer, but he makes big plays.
He does. Hopefully it's Drake Maye or Caleb Williams. Huh?
My ears are bleeding. What are they doing?
I put J.J. McCarthy.
J.J. McCarthy third on the ranking list.
Behind Caleb, crying to his mom. Crying to his mom.
Everyone loved it when Max Duggan did it.
Yeah, I know we love it.
except Harrison.
And by the way, Penix is like 37 years old. He's a 6-year senior, left-hand injury guy. Come on.
I do not like left-handed quarterbacks. I will make that abundantly clear. I don't like the way they throw. When you play football and you catch a ball from a lefty, it comes in at a different angle, a different spin. But I'll tell you this much. I'd take just about anybody over Tommy DeVito. We do got a mailbag coming up in about 30 minutes or so. So get your comments in. Hashtag Giants or Super Chat to get on the show. You know what? I'm going to make a deal for the real ones. I already broke my rule of not drinking on Mondays. We already did a shotgun. Adam Schmidt fired me up with that one. We're up to $124 in Super Chats.
Yes, sir.
If we get to 200, I'm doing a boot.
Oh.
I'm doing a boot.
Oh.
If we can get to 200, I'll do a boot.
I'll throw a shotgun down during that little boot.
That's right.
I'll throw a shotgun down during that boot.
If we get to $200 in Super Chats, we're going to party a little bit.
$75 more.
75 away. Jay Sports Card says sign A.J. McCarron.
He is definitely better than Tommy DeVito.
Where is A.J. McCarron?
I don't know. He's missing.
You know who I wish they would sign, and I know it has 0% chance of happening?
Who's that?
Chad Kelly.
Oh, swag. Get swag to New York.
I loved Swag Kelly.
Swag Kelly is tough, man. Buffalo guy.
And he's killing it in the Canadian League.
Yes.
He's the highest paid quarterback in CFL history.
That's electric. What a life. What a life to live.
I would love to have Swag Kelly here.
He
beat Bama, or almost did. He always played really good against them. That's what it was.
Yeah, he played really well against them. Do you know Swag Kelly one time got arrested at a high school football game in Buffalo because he stormed the field and started fighting players?
I love that.
I like that.
That's grit.
That's I know. You get your nose a little dirty.
That's great.
That grainy video's on YouTube if anybody wants to look it up.
That's my guy, Bill.
Bill. Bill,
Shout out to Bill. Guy. My man said, I can't do it all. Like they say in Starship Troopers. Starship Troopers. That's a tongue twister.
Starship Troopers.
Doing my part. Bill, that's why you are freaking a GOAT, man.
Facts.
That's why you're a legend, GOAT. That's why you're a legend, brother. Shout out to Mr. Bill.
Shout out to Bill.
Shout out to Bill. Can we get some BHs in the chat?
BH.
That's right. Holy milk dud Badham says, Marsh, would you take Kaepernick over DeVito? No. Colin Kaepernick hasn't played in a football game in 7 years.
At any level, by the way.
Like, why? Why would, come on. And then Johnson, comes in with a $5 super chat, bit by bit, brick by brick. Let's go.
We're building.
How about we draft Connor Watkins? Let's take a gamble on another Nova boy in New York. You're ridiculous.
Johnson U's always talking crazy.
Johnson U is the best troll on the internet.
He is a good troll in the chat. Every chat needs a good troll. You don't want to be a bad troll. You don't want to be a mean or disrespectful or anything. Johnson U is the right type of troll.
Johnson U, best troll in the chat, and he's doing his part just like Mr. Bill.
That's right.
Shout out to him. Now we're $64 away. No, I'm bad at math. 67.
$67 away.
67 away from a boot. 67 away from a boot.
Keep getting those questions in. Use hashtag Giants. We're about to get to the news and rumors segment here in a second.
Yeah, we're about to break down what Xavier McKinney had to say about the Giants coaching staff.
Some choice words.
Exactly. He had some choice words about that one. And I've been asked probably 562.5 times since the game ended, Marshall, should the Giants fire Brian Daboll or Joe Schoen? I'll share my thoughts on that. We
won't spoil it.
Share my thoughts on that coming up in a second as well. But let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's do it. All righty. Whenever you're ready. Before we dive into the latest Giants news and rumors on today's video, I just want to start with a question. Is this the worst Giants team of your lifetime? I'm curious what you got to say. In my 29 years of living, I'm not sure I've seen a less competitive team than what the Giants have been trotting out. They just lost 30-6 to Antonio Pierce and Aiden O'Connell. If that's not rock bottom, I don't know what is. Is this the worst Giants team of your life? Let me know. Coming up on today's show, I've been asked probably 552 times and a half since Sunday, should the Giants fire Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen? I've got pretty strong opinions on this. I'll share that in a second. And also, I want to break down the quotes from Xavier McKinney. Xavier McKinney absolutely called out the coaching staff for the New York Giants, and it did not sit right with me. So we're going to dive into that. Let's start, though, with Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen. Look, Giants are in a bad spot right now. They absolutely are, no doubt about it. But there's something inside of me that tells me, Marshall, take a deep breath, still believe in these two guys. And I think I have. But the facts are the facts here. The New York Giants have fired 3 straight coaches after 2 seasons. They've done it. They fired Joe Judge. Every coach, after 3 straight coaches, they have fired Ben McAdoo, Joe Judge, Shermer. Are we going to get there? I'll tell you this much. John Mayer doesn't like being embarrassed. And the way the Giants are playing football, I'm embarrassed for John Mara. No way you fire Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen, though. That's just going to be my take on that. There is no way you can fire Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen. Think about it like this. We always knew this was a rebuild. We always knew that. Once you were picking 5th in the draft, in the 2022 draft, and you hired Joe Schoen and you hired Brian Daboll, you knew it was going to be a multiple-year rebuild. And I honestly think that the Giants overachieving last year messed my head up, it messed your head up, and it made us raise our level of expectations when this team was not ready to meet those expectations. When Brian Daboll took over the Giants job, this team had $35+ million in dead cap. That means of their salary cap, $35 million of it was unusable. And Brian Daboll still found a way to bring this team to the playoffs. This was never a one-year rebuild. It never, ever was. And it's going to take multiple years to fix this team. Because right now you don't have a franchise quarterback. You don't have any good weapons outside of Saquon Barkley. You don't have any pass rush outside of Kayvon Thibodeau and Dexter Lawrence. They can't do it themselves. You only got one rookie corner. Dory Jackson's gone after this year. You're going to need another safety because there's no way in hell they're re-signing Xavier McKinney. This is a rebuild, not a retool, not a refurbish, a rebuild. And that starts at the base layer. The Giants have to get this right. But I will say this. Brian Daboll has not been great this year. He deserves just as much blame as anybody else because he is the CEO of this football team. Every decision that is made about this football team week in and week out, Thursday night, Sunday evening, Sunday night, Monday night, every decision goes through Brian Daboll. So he is not blame-free. He deserves a lot of the blame, in my opinion. He has not been good. But I do believe in Brian Daboll. And I do believe in Joe Schoen. I do. Maybe I'm being a blind apologist. Maybe I'm just trying to look at the glass half full because I am the most pessimistic mother effer you've ever met in your life. But I do believe in Brian Daboll. And I do believe in Joe Schoen. But it's also fair. Two things could be true. They both need to be better. They both 100% need to be better. They both have to do better. Giants fans deserve better. You watching this right now deserve better than what Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen have done in the 2023 NFL season. I know this for a fact. These last 8 games are going to be interesting. These last 8 games could right the ship of whether Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen will be here next year. Because I'll tell you this much. I don't know many general managers in the National Football League that get to hand out $92 million to a quarterback. And then 12 months from then, pick in the top 5 and have to select another quarterback. You don't usually get that opportunity. GMs don't usually get to pay maximum dollars to a quarterback and then 12 months later draft one in the top 5. And I know this for a fact as well. When Joe Judge was fired after 2 years, it was because the offense looked incompetent, just like it does now. Brian Daboll, you were brought here to fix this offense. Brian Daboll, you got this job because of what you did as an offensive coordinator with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. This offense looks anemic. They look awful. They don't look like they practice. It's penalty after penalty, bad play after bad play. They both need to be better. But in my opinion, they don't deserve to be fired just yet. This team plays like this next year, though. You don't get 3 years. And the last 2 are you're a bottom 10 team in this league. You don't get that. So I'll ask you, should the Giants fire Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen? What do you think? Type F for fire, type K for keep. I understand why some people make you say fire. I understand it. I get it. I'm just not there yet. Let me know what you think. Coming up next, Xavier McKinney has called out Brian Daboll. He's called out Wink Martindale, and it's pissing me the hell off. Because Xavier McKinney, you let this team down last year on a bye week in Mexico when you hurt your hand and missed 9 games. You haven't been good in this year. And you're a captain, and you're not acting like one. Before we dive deeper into those quotes, though, I got to give a huge shout-out to today's sponsor, Waterboy. Go to waterboy.com/chatsports. That is waterboy.com/chatsports and get 15% off your first order. That link will be clickable down in the comments and description of today's video. With the holidays approaching, our sponsor Waterboy is here to help you prepare for those nasty holiday hangovers. There's nothing worse than feeling like the Grinch while everyone else in the family is rocking around the Christmas tree. Waterboy is a hydration powder scientifically formulated to cut your hangover time in half. There are other hydration packs on the market, but nothing comes anywhere close to fighting those Sunday scaries like Waterboy. With 0 sugar and over 3 times the electrolytes of Liquid IV, your ingredients beyond just hydration to help with nausea, anxiety, and fatigue. We all know that hydration alone isn't enough to help after a holiday bender, and it's not just for you. Waterboy's hangover recovery formula makes a thoughtful stocking stuffer or a fantastic gift for your loved ones. Show them you care about their well-being this holiday season. For our Giants Now listeners, you get 15% off when you go to waterboy.com/chatsports. Maybe the best part about Waterboy is how amazing it tastes. Their most popular flavors include strawberry lemonade, lemon lime, and blue raspberry. You're absolutely going to love it because I do, and I know you guys will. Hundreds of thousands of people already trust Waterboy as their hangover cure. It's time to stop dealing with that anxiety alone. For a limited time, Giants Now listeners get an exclusive 15% off discount with our link at waterboy.com/chatsports. That's 15% off at waterboy.com/chatsports. It's time to hydrate this holiday season. All righty, Xavier McKinney, following the loss of the Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday, called out the coaches. He called out the entire coaching staff, Brian Daboll, Wink Martindale, and they were very interesting words. For a guy that has not played good this year and is in a contract year, they were some choice words. This is what he said. He said, honestly, it sucks, but I don't know, man. I don't really have many words. I think that from a leadership standpoint, I don't think they've done a great job of letting the leaders lead and listening to the leaders and the captains. But obviously, it sucks losing. I don't know. There are other things, too, that we could have done. Like I said, the execution stuff could have been better. But when you got guys out there that are playing and seeing different things and are being vocal and communicating that with the coaches, and whoever and are not being heard, it's hard to go out there and be able to make plays and do things of that nature. You saw that picture of Xavier McKinney? He had something right here on his chest. It was a C. The Giants had 10 of them. One, it's an absolute joke that you had 10 captains. If you have 10 captains, you have no captains. And Xavier McKinney, you are not a captain. That is not how a captain of a team in the National Football League speaks. A captain of a team in the National Football League does not go to Mexico on their bye week and break their hand and lacerate their hand so bad they have to miss 9 weeks. And that same guy asked for a contract extension after the end of the season. It's a joke. I will say I've talked to a couple people, and supposedly the defense is upset with the trade of Leonard Williams. There are supposedly people on this team that are upset that the New York Giants traded Leonard Williams. You know what I have to say? Suck it up. Stop being a baby. Go play football. Oh, Leonard Williams isn't here. I can't try anymore. It's not like a bunch of ridiculous. Dexter Lawrence had some words on the Big Cat trade saying, I didn't see why we did it. I still don't understand on why. It is what it is. Xavier McKinney, who called out the coaches, also thought it was dumb that the Giants traded Leonard Williams, saying, I hate it. He was a leader and a captain for our team. He's a guy that we all respect as a player in person. He's going to be missed. He also said, I thought we were trying to win games. Why did we trade him? I understand the kind sentiment. I understand what the Giants are doing. You got Jihad Ward right there, and you got Dexter Lawrence to the right of him. It would always be Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, Jihad Ward warming up before games. He didn't die. He didn't die. You don't have to keep a spot for him in pregame warmups. Move on. Trades suck. I understand he's your friend. I understand he's your buddy. I understand you party with him. Be professional. Be a leader. Be a captain. It's a joke, Xavier McKinney. I used to be your biggest fan, man. But between the Mexico shit, you calling out the coaches, you're not playing well, and you're crying that Leonard Williams is traded? Move on. You should be embarrassed. Why do the Giants suck? Let's close with this one. That feels good right here. Why do the Giants suck? Is it the lack of talent? Is it the injuries? Is it the coaching? If you have another reason, let me know, because I think there's a couple more why they might suck. Let me know what you think. LT for lack of talent, I for injuries, C for coaching. You can also just type D for all of the above. I think it's a lack of accountability for guys like Xavier. 10 captains? Are you kidding me? You have 10 captains, that's a fifth of the team. That's more than a fifth of the active roster that plays on Sundays. Who's holding people accountable if there's 10 captains? Imagine at your job, you worked in a little pod, and you had 50 people in your pod, but you had 10 people selected as the team lead. That pod's not going anywhere. That's ridiculous. Grow the hell up. Grow the hell up, Xavier McKinney. How about you play better and you may not have traded Leonard Williams? How about that? How about that? It's ridiculous. Give me a follow over on Twitter, @MarshallGreen_. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Xavier McKinney, my man, I hope you enjoyed playing for the New York Giants. Because I don't see how on earth you are going to get a contract extension. Absolutely ridiculous. It's a joke. Who says shit like that? 2-7, you're getting your ass kicked, and it's, but the coaches are listening to me. They traded Leonard Williams. That's embarrassing.
I personally wouldn't say it.
They left a spot for him in pregame warmups.
Like he died.
His heart's still beating. He's not dead.
Bro's just in Seattle.
Promise you this much. He ain't thinking about you anymore, Xavier McKinney. He ain't thinking about you anymore, brother. No. Let's close the show with a mailbag. Hashtag Giants or Super Chat to get on the show. A Super Chat will jump you to the front of the line, and we're going to answer questions from all of the real ones.
Get your questions in.
Get your questions in, as we are $66 away from a beer boot for me. $66 away from a beer boot. I could use it. Like, am I tripping, or is that just loser shit to say?
You're trying to blame other people for you just not performing well.
They're not listening to me.
There's zero accountability. 10 captains, by the way.
10 captains?
I've never seen a team of any size.
I don't even think they gave him enough patches for everyone to have a C on their chest, because Darren Waller hasn't had one all year, and he's a captain.
Oh.
The NFL literally didn't even give them 10 captain patches.
They said you shouldn't have that many.
No.
I'm going to just check some of these.
Cool. If you want to get your question up on the show, last call here, hashtag Giants or Super Chat. Oh, this team is upsetting me. They're messing up my mental fortitude. Do you think Randall? I'll tell you what, it's a bad day to be Julius Randle if you play bad today, because I'm not holding back anymore. The Giants have pushed me to the edge. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Shout out to my guy Ahmad getting a super chat in. We can get that in the show as well. Shout out to Ahmad. What up, Sam Lubna? Will says, do y'all really think we'll trade Daniel Jones? No, because nobody wants Daniel Jones. They'll cut him after the 2024 season. He'll be off this football team January 2025. Yeah, Bill, the injury doesn't do anything, unfortunately, to the financials. Best way for the Giants to get out of the contract is to cut him after the 2024 season, and they will have $22 million in dead cap hit that year. Then after that, it's over. And after that, it's over. Go from Kenny Golladay dead cap to Daniel Jones dead cap hit. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Crim's dad coming in with this question. What up, Crimmy? What up, Crimmy? Crimmy, can't you see the Giants are killing me, losing games in different ways, 30-6 to Aiden O'Connell.
Aiden O'Connell diced them boys up.
Aiden O'Connell? Antonio Pierce?
That's Coach AP. All right, I think we have enough questions to get going. So.
All right, let's dive into this mailbag.
Let's
Are we
get
just going to start like this?
Yeah.
All right. Yo, what up, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Tough couple of games for the Giants. Tough season for the Giants. But you know what? I just want to chop it up with a couple of real ones on today's video. We got a mailbag. We're going to be answering questions, comments, and concerns from subscribers. So if we don't get to your question, it's your fault. It means you're not subscribed. So change it. Hit that thumbs up icon and subscribe to the channel right now. Ahmad, my God, coming in with a $2 super chat. Ahmad, we appreciate you. Says, if we get the third pick, do we trade up for Caleb Williams? It's going to depend on, Ahmad, who is going to be picking first overall. Because if it's a team that needs a quarterback, they're not going to trade out of that pick, right? They're just going to take that guy. I think the only team that may trade out of the first overall pick that's currently in contention for that pick is the Arizona Cardinals. And I don't think that they're going to get to that number one pick. I don't think they're going to – I think they win a couple more games this year. They've given a huge commitment to Kyler Murray. So I would say, yeah, you try. You offer the farm. But also maybe you try to trade up to pick number 2 and go get Drake Maye. Maybe Drake Maye falls to 3 and Marvin Harrison Jr. goes 2. I think you try, but – I don't think there's anyone that needs a quarterback trading out of that first slot. My guy Johnson Yu says, even if we get a good QB, our O-line will still suck. What do we do then? Thing is, Johnson Yu, this may be hard for some people to comprehend, but you're a really smart person, so I know you'll comprehend this. Good quarterback play, wait for it. It helps out the O-line. When you have a good quarterback, it makes your O-line look better. Notice, Tyrod Taylor wasn't sacked 8 times. He didn't have Andrew Thomas playing. He didn't have Evan Neal playing. It's not like you played a really aggressive defense in Las Vegas with Pat Graham. We know as this bend don't break Patrick. A good quarterback helps your O-line. It's crazy. Ridiculous. Pokey Moore says, if we get Penix, since he is a lefty, does that make Neal his blind side? If so, can we move Andrew Thomas to right tackle, or will it affect his game? If Thomas can't switch, we can't have a lefty QB. I don't trust Neal. That is interesting. I haven't even thought of that, brother. I haven't even thought of that. But yes, if you do have a lefty quarterback, that means your right tackle. That means your right tackle is going to be your blindside protector. Maybe you move Andrew Thomas there, but I don't know if that's exactly what any team would do. But I do agree that you might need another right tackle. Evan Neal, hurt again. 3rd time he's missed games in his career with a hurt. He's going to miss games this time. 3rd time he's going to miss game with injuries. And he's not that good. People tell me he's a guard. Have you seen his stability? Have you seen his balance? He cannot play guard. I just don't think he's a professional offensive lineman in this league. I'm sorry. It was a bad pick. Giants missed. Shit happens. Move on to the next. NYG34. What up, Brody? With the Bears probably picking first in the draft and taking Caleb Williams, should the Giants trade for Justin Fields? Okay. So, yes, the Bears own their own first-round pick. Also, they own the Carolina Panthers first-round pick. So, yeah, they're probably going to have the first pick in the draft. They're going to have to make a decision. Is Justin Fields our guy, or do we roll with Caleb Williams? I don't think Justin Fields is terrible. I also don't think he's that good. But kind of like Daniel Jones, he's been playing with a lot of no talent around him until this year with DJ Moore. A lot of injuries around him. And he's dealt with some injuries. And he's dealt with a bad offensive line. To be honest with you, I would say no, because I would rather the Giants just reset the rookie scale contract at the quarterback position. Because this is what? Justin Fields' 3rd year in the NFL, I believe? 3rd. And he's going to need a contract extension probably in 2 years. And I would rather build my team with a quarterback not costing that much money. So I'm going to go down in the comments, and I'm going to type my D for draft a quarterback, because I think that's what the Giants should do. But I understand Justin Fields has a lot of fans out there. One of the most dynamic and athletic and best running quarterbacks in this league. If the Bears draft Caleb Williams, should the Giants trade for Justin Fields? Maybe it costs you a 2nd or a 3rd round pick. I don't even think he's that good to trade that for him. But let me know what you think. Type T for trade, type D for draft. Sound off in the comments section. We're going to get to more questions from subscribers coming up in a second. But first, I got to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, PrizePicks, the #1 way to play daily fantasy sports. It's the #1 daily fantasy sports app in North America. It's PrizePicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. All you do is create a lineup of 2 to 6 players, and you just choose more or less on their projected stat line. This is the lineup that I rolled with on Monday Night Football. And shout out to PrizePicks, because I get a little bit of a buffer, because I did PrizePicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. And when you do that, put $100 into your account, they're going to give you $100 for free. So you have $200 to play with. You can cross-play. You can make a lineup with NBA and NFL picks. You can mix them over. College basketball's here. I know PrizePicks has that as well. It's the #1 daily fantasy sports app in the game. Download it, play it, have fun, support the show, support the sponsor. It means a lot to me. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. All right, we're going to get to more questions on today's show. We can go right here. We're going to go right here. Shout out to Indian Scammer. Just pop up the draft order. Thinking we could get a top 5 pick. Well, right now you sit at 2-7. You sit at 2-7 right now if you're the New York Giants. You do have a couple of easy games coming up, but that's after the game this week against the Dallas Cowboys. So let's go look at the 2024 NFL draft order. Arizona Cardinals currently have the #1 pick. Then you got the Carolina Panthers. That pick is owed to the Chicago Bears. So right now the Bears own the 2nd and the 3rd overall pick, and the New York Giants own that 4th pick. So look, if Tommy DeVito is going to be your starting quarterback for the remainder 8 games, I'm not sure how you're going to win a football game. So, yeah, I do think there is a good chance that this team is going to end up picking in the top 5. And if you end up picking in the top 5, you have to select a quarterback. You have to. You absolutely have to. Because the guy that you paid all that money has a broken neck and a broken ACL. It would be unfair to everybody else to continue to just roll with him as your QB. Corinne, what up, Corinne? Thanks for always tuning in and being a real one. Would you re-sign McKinney? It's such a complex question, Corinne. I don't love what I've heard from him. I don't love him calling out the coaches. I don't love him crying about Leonard Williams being traded. He's no scrub. He's a solid player. I'd say he's a C-plus safety. C-plus. What's the contract going to be? What's the contract going to be, I think, is the question. If it's a 1-year prove-it deal, yeah, but I'm not giving him a multi-year deal. I'm not giving Xavier McKinney a multi-year. I think it may just be time to move on. Captains don't do what he does. Ridiculous. Steven says, do you think Barkley will go somewhere after this season? He said he wants to be a Giant. I don't know why he continues to say it. He says he wants to retire a Giant. Giant for life. I want to retire a Giant. I want to be a Giant for life. Once a Giant, always a Giant, only a Giant. It's going to be a very interesting offseason for this football team. What are they going to do with Saquon Barkley? Couldn't get a long-term contract done last year. Do they get one done this year? Do they put the franchise tag him again? Do they trade him? Do they let him enter free agency? Steven, great question. I don't know. Because I used to have a read on this organization. I don't anymore. Because they continue to just make wrong decisions. Joey DeLuca, I can't believe we are this bad this year. Last year we made it in the playoffs and won a playoff game. What happened? My man Joey, that is the $100 million question. What happened? 1, your star left tackle got hurt in the first drive of the season. 2, you had an extremely tough start to the year. Cowboys, Niners, Seahawks, Dolphins. And maybe last year was a fluke, Joey. Maybe last year was a fluke. Ball bounced our way. We won a lot of one-score games last year. We had a new head coach. We had a new OC. There wasn't tape on those guys. All the little things went our way last year. Seems like all the little things are going against us. What has gone wrong could go wrong. Daniel Jones has missed time. Saquon Barkley has missed time. Andrew Thomas has missed time. Darren Waller has missed time. It's upsetting. Sam Lubna, who do you think will be the QB starter for the 2024 NFL season for the Giants? I'm going to say Drake Maye. And the Giants are going to get up to that 3rd pick in the draft. And I think it's going to be Drake Maye. I think Caleb Williams has more raw talent than Drake Maye. And I think Caleb Williams will go number 1. But I think it's going to be Drake Maye. And if you draft someone in the top 5, you start him right away. They did it with C.J. Stroud. Look at him. They did it with Bryce Young. You start the young kid. You let him work. You let him feel it out. The worst thing you could do is draft a quarterback in the top 5 and then trot Daniel Jones out there, which he's not going to be ready for week 1. Let's be honest. Who do you want to be the Giants QB next year? Can't believe we're doing this. I'm going to predict it be Drake Maye, but I want to hear from you. Who do you want to be the Giants QB next year? And remember, if you made it this far in the video, that means you're a real one. So subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 40,000 subscribers on this channel. Let me know. Why aren't you subscribed? If you aren't, change it. Hit that sub button right now. Sub for New York Giants. I'm not going to say sub for Dubs. Just subscribe. Let's go.
Why do the Giants suck? Why do they suck? Let us know. There's a lot of answers. You can give many different ones and still be right.
Do we keep Waller? Yeah, Waller will be on this team next year. You already reconstructed his contract. You could have cut him at the end of this year. No dead cap hit, but you pushed money into the future, so he'll be here.
I saw another question, and I do want to mention it before we get out of here. Somebody said, will Matt Barkley play? Do you think Matt Barkley starts a game for the New York Giants in 2023? /24.
Yes. Brian DeVito goes the next 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then I bet Barkley goes the next 2. And I bet they're praying Tyrod Taylor finishes the season.
Praying for Tyrod Taylor is crazy.
Agreed, brother. Agreed. Cut Darius Slayton. Yeah, Darius Slayton will not be on this football.
Somebody else said something crazy about Darius Slayton earlier as well. They were like,
you get $7 million of cap relief if you cut him. He's cut.
They were like, why is Darius Slayton so bad?
Darius Slayton will be cut. Mark Lewinsky will be cut. Adoree Jackson will be gone. I think Xavier McKinney will be gone.
Saquon Barkley might be gone.
I don't think John Mayer can go through a football season without Saquon Barkley. Corinne, I've never seen someone try to catch a stop route like this. I was taught when I was 4 years old to never catch a football like this.
Who did that yesterday?
Darius Slayton.
Oh, Slayton.
Like this, tried to catch a stop route, coming back to the ball like this, hit his chest, popped in the air, interception.
Oh, no.
Leonard Zinner.
The Zin Man.
I think we get Galladay to play QB.
At this point.
I don't know, bro.
Zinard.
Oh, you're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. James Hollister says cutting Slayton is a mistake. Why? I can go find 30 receivers in the NFL that make less than $7 million that do what he does. Why?
Which isn't a lot. Actually his production is crazy. It's not.
It's also time to move on. Darius Slayton is a Daniel Jones guy. You don't want Daniel Jones guys in the locker room when you bring in a new quarterback.
No.
You want rookie quarterback guys. Darius Slayton is the president of the Daniel Jones fan club.
He's a big advocate for Jones?
Oh, he loves him.
Oh.
Someone said, why aren't we using Jalen Hyatt? We are. We threw him 3 balls yesterday. All 3 were over or underthrown. Should have had 3 touchdowns. Daniel Jones missed him twice. Tommy DeVito threw a pick. All righty. We're going to sign off on today's show. I got to get ready for this Knicks game tonight. We'll be live on our Knicks channel in 45 minutes.
Shout out Basil Champ.
Shout out Basil Champ says trade for Justin, pull a GB love deal. Trade for Justin Fields. I don't understand
Green
the last
Bay
part.
love. I'm trying there. And Scott Herman did send one in.
My man Scott Hernan says, yeah, buddy. Can we draft a new training staff? LOL, go Giants. Yeah. Nobody's been good this year. Nobody's been good. All righty. Shout out to everybody that tuned in. I think
Appreciate y'all.
I think this is our best audience of the season, which is pretty frustrating, but it is what it is. Love you guys. See you later. Thanks for all the love today. Let's go G-Men.